You're watching the FirearmsChannel.com.
CompTac Victory Gear. Holster options for every body.
It's the 35th annual 2013 SHOT Show at Las Vegas, Nevada, from the Sands Expo and Convention Center with an insider's look at the spectacular event. Let's go to Max Martin.
So not only do you get the best of the best, but you also get unique of the most unique, which is why we're here in the Arsenal Firearms booth with Mr. Nicola Bandini. He is the CEO for Arsenal Firearms Group of Companies. Good day, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. You know, you have a very impressive gun, a very unique gun. Can you please tell me a little bit about it and how it came to be?
Well, you know, with this gun, we were debating with my partner, Russian partner, Dmitry Strashinsky, in January, early January 2010, and we knew that there were a few months ahead of us until 2011, which would have been the centennial of a glorious design, which is Colt 1911. Right. And so we thought, you know, how can we commemorate this and how can we make something really radical and different than anybody else preparing for 2011? And so as we were elaborating on the second century for this glorious design, it struck our minds, second century, two barrels, second barrel. And so we said, okay, let's try and do that. So we started jumping around and designing started the next day. And we totally re-engineered the pistol because it might look like totally 1911 from the side, but as you can see, is a true double barrel. It's 45, you know. And as we have here, the magazine tells you how close the two feeding ramps are and the two barrels, how close they are, and we have two bushings in between there. It looks like almost impossible mechanically to do something like that. Yes. This is the patent, actually. They are two asymmetrical, self-locking, center-indexing bushings, which actually bring the barrels together on two flat surfaces. So this is how and why this gun shoots in the same impact point, two different barrels. Mm-hmm. And it's so accurate because we wanted to put on the market a very safe gun. You know, not that you aim on one spot and you have one bullet in one place and one bullet in another place. Would have been an unsafe gun on the market. So this actually performs like a single barrel. It will group all the 7 plus 7 plus 1 plus 1, so 16 rounds that you can shoot and hold the pistol, and 45 ACP will group, it will do like 2 inches at 25 yards. You can have one barrel shooting always tracer, and next to it, not after or before, you have a performing bullet of your choice.
That is very unique.
Or you can shoot a hollow point and armor piercing. You don't do maths or thinking, you just shoot and you will do the job, whatever the target will look like. Right. And dual caliber. We are experimenting now with 38 Super one barrel, 45 ACP, so a penetrator and a stopper. Really? And this actually has unveiled really tactical niches. We have tactical inquiries for a lighter weapon, of course, you know, with maybe say a hybrid frame polymer steel, so it's more manageable, and with serrations, you know, modern serrations and not 1911-A1 style, front and back.
Tell me about the trigger and the trigger mechanism and the hammer again, if you would, please.
The trigger, actually, it has two 1911 triggers with transfer bars welded together. So they act like one single mechanism. They act on two 3-leaf springs, on two sears and two disconnectors, but one hammer, because it is joined, the two hammers are joined with the single spur. So it's like one mechanical object. So trigger and hammer is one piece, but all the rest is double. But what does that mean? As BATF, when they cleared the gun, in the technical department, they observed very carefully that it has two half-cocks, two sears. So it is one mechanical component with two safeties. So it's double safe. So if you drop this gun, impossible to discharge. And when it is on half-cock, like here, you have two half-cocks on one mechanical component. So, and the trigger is the same story. This gun will actually fire if you pull the right trigger or if you pull the left trigger, because the two transfer bars are welded together and they act like one component again.
So we'll discharge both.
Both is one slide, and as we have seen, one hammer. So two bullets together only, no other option. The hammer, as we can see, is actually one spur. I engage one spur, but it is two hammers acting on two firing pins. We have two extractors. Of course, we have two sears inside, and we have two disconnectors. So all the internal parts, which by the way are interchangeable 1911 standards, so aftermarket you can buy them, find them yourself, fine-tune whatever you want. But of course the hammer is proprietary, and the grip safety is dual as well as proprietary. The mainspring, the internal parts are standard 1911, but the external housing is proprietary, our own design.
What about the magazine? Can you show me about the magazine? Is the magazine proprietary as well?
Not quite, because the magazine actually is two standard 1911 Colt. These are from Magar, excellent quality, Teflon inside out, absolutely trouble-free. But what did we do? We joined them with one single floor plate. And the single floor plate, in order to make it as tight as possible, the two feeding ramps, to make the gun as thin as possible, we needed to customize the inner lips. So actually these are made for our gun, although they are exactly the same inside out on any 45 standard single stagger magazine, but the inner lip is custom in order to be as close as possible in the single floor plate.
Does that mean that they're only available through your company?
Yeah, as a whole. You know, we supply the double magazine as a whole.
Mr. Bandini, can you tell me what you like about shooting your pistol?
Shooting my pistol is actually an amazing experience. First of all, you know, when we hand it over to any shooter coming to visit us, they shoot the first shot and they drop the gun and they start laughing, because you know they pull the trigger one time and they see two holes, and this, believe me, is an unprecedented experience. It never happened before. You know, you cannot see two holes by pulling the trigger one time in a semi-automatic weapon. And for myself, you know, shooting, I've been shooting, I believe now, over 10,000 double rounds with these guns. So they are all in my shoulder here, and it is not punishing, it is bearable. I'm an average size guy, so anybody my size or beefier can handle this gun very well. What amazes me is that we are receiving an extraordinary amount of inquiries from ladies from US.
Really?
And I cannot explain why. We have some now dear to us, because we become friends over the last few months, future female customers writing to us, you know, Nicola, I cannot sleep at night anymore, you know, please tell me when my gun is ready, you know. And this, I don't know why. This is something that we will have to investigate. It does have an appeal on the female market in this country, for sure. But I'm pretty sure that this is the first step of a whole new wave of weapons and shooting.
And is this available now in the United States?
Yeah, we have started taking orders for this gun now. Delivery is expected in April. The first lot will come to US in April. We're starting with the black edition of the gun, fixed sights. And about July, we will have the stainless edition, which is this one I hold, with adjustable sights.
And more information is available on your website?
Exactly, arsenalfirearms.com.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nicola Bandini. He's the CEO for Arsenal Firearms Group of Companies. For the firearmschannel.com, I'm Max Martin. Thanks for watching.
CompTac Victory Gear. Holster options for every body.
You're watching the firearmschannel.com.